Hey, Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage, and we're moving right along on this 72 heavy Chevy. Not a lot to report on yesterday. I did show you the brake booster going on, and I did a lot of cleanup work last week. Man, is that dirty work inside the engine compartment. So I scrubbed it all down a few times, and then did the Craigslist rebuild black on the inside there. So we're all set to go. This thing's ready for an engine. I like to mock things up on the engine stand, so I make sure that I've got all the pieces, parts on here right. But one thing that's throwing me, I'm gonna show you this. All right, this is a 2-barrel carburetor, so nothing fancy-dancy. And on the intake manifold, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 threaded holes, and then 1 through hole here. Now, why, oh why? Because maybe I made mention of this, taking this apart. There was only 2 holes holding down the carburetor, 2 bolts. But look at the carburetor gasket. So that's why there was only 2 bolts holding down the carburetor, because there's only 2 holes in the gasket. Now I can see where the holes would go. I'm gonna punch these out. I'm gonna put it over on the drill press. And this little hole right here matches up with the hole on there. I'm gonna punch those out so I can have all 4 bolts holding this carburetor down and making a good seal. I'm sorry, I just don't trust 2 bolts holding down this carburetor. So, all right, tell me what you think. Why did that happen? I'm gonna look in the assembly manual, see what I find. Oh, I'll be dipped. Look at that. Here's the gasket. No, insulator must be assembled, notch, right, rear position. But look at, we've got 2 bolts here. Torque bolt simultaneously. I always like saying simultaneously instead of simultaneous. A residual torque of 75 inch-pounds minimum must be maintained after roll test. So I guess after they start it up and put it on the roller. But I'll be dipped, as they would say on Vice Grip Garage. Only 2 holes are threaded, that they use there are threaded. Now they thread these, so I don't know. What do you think? What would you do? There you go. She's all together. A lot of these things I'll end up taking off to get her back in there. But I wanted to make sure everything fit and all the bolts went in right and I had all the right bolts. So, you know, we took some liberties here and there, like we have headers on it, but mainly that was for the sound. And I don't have all the bolts in yet, but she's looking good. All resealed. I got her filled with oil, got the original air cleaner on there, and yeah, she's ready to go. I'm gonna get her on the lift again, and I'm gonna get the clutch on. So yeah, that's my next step. So we're coming right along on this engine rectification. All right, I got my expert Chevelle mechanic over here now.
Yeah.
And we're gonna torque these to 60 to 65 foot-pounds. Okay. We got some thread locker on there. We're gonna have to keep the engine from spinning, and I'll take care of that in a second. I'm moving along too quick here because I got a second set of hands. Uncle Larry's helping me here. I'm gonna hold the flywheel so it doesn't turn. And now we have the clutch on there, and we have already got the clutch material on there. Now we're putting the actual clutch on the flywheel. Of course, we got to torque this down to 35, 40, something like that. What is this one?
40.
40. All right, and I got lock washers on this. I put some red Loctite on the flywheel bolts. So don't forget, we've gone over this before on putting clutches on. There's a right way and a wrong way, so make sure you pay attention to which side goes to the flywheel. All right, so I got the clutch on. Larry helped me get that torqued down. It's a Zoom clutch, Zoom performance set. It's a 10.4 inch clutch that goes on this. And we'll get the bell housing and the fork on tomorrow morning. Make sure when you're tightening this up, I saw Uncle Larry check this several times. Make sure that this tool goes in and out nice and easy, because when we plug the transmission in, we want it to go in nice and easy too. I'm just going to set, I know I took the engine and the transmission out together, but I am going to put the engine in by itself, and then I'll shove the transmission in from underneath since we're on the lift. So we got the engine compartment pretty ready. I got to do a couple more things there to clean her up, get that old positive cable on there, because I got a brand new positive cable, brand new negative cable. And yeah, tomorrow should be a big day as far as setting this back down in its home. All right. One thing I'll have to do, and you'll probably see me do this, is I'll have this header side kind of laying in there, and then I'll drop the engine down into it. And we'll probably, as I'm dropping this down, I'll connect up the headers and before I put the engine bolts completely through. All right, Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage. See ya. Hey, Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage, and we're back on the clutch project. We had a little bit of a problem. We had the wrong clutch. So make sure you're ordering the right clutch. I believe this is a 10-inch clutch, and we had an 11-inch clutch, so, you know, it obviously wouldn't work. So today, we're going to install the clutch. So first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you're cleaned off. So take some brake cleaner, and you're going to clean off this area right here. Just a few should be good there. This is a brand new clutch. If you were using an older clutch, you might want to really clean it up and brush that in. And then when we're installing the clutch, there's two sides to this, and one's going to say flywheel side right there, okay? And we're going to use the plastic clutch tool to install this, and this is the same spline as your clutch. So we're going to install that and then put it into your pilot bearing that we installed last week with and you'll be all set. So then you got your clutch to put on, and here we've got this sitting down here. So once again, you're going to want to clean this off. So it looks like there's some manufacturing oil on this, so you're going to clean it off. Now this time I'm actually going to take a rag and go around and clean it a little bit, because it does look like it had some type of I don't know, let's call it preservative oil. So we'll give this a couple cleans here, and I can see that a little bit of dirt is coming off on the rag here, or oil, or what have you. So looks pretty good. We don't want to have any oil on there because we'll get chatter on this. So the next thing you're going to do is actually put the clutch on there and clean it up a little more. All right, it looks pretty good. And I'm going to put this clutch on now. We're going to have to tighten this down a little bit at a time. Now this clutch will fit a little bit better. All right, so we're putting this in. I need 4 hands for this. So let me get a couple started here. Got another bolt right here. All right, so one thing I was actually curious about as I get this started on here is I had to do a little research on this. It's okay, you don't need grade 8, grade 5 bolts are okay to use on this. And the other question I had was whether to use a lock washer or not, and that wasn't really spelled out in the manufacturing instructions, so I did a little more research and found out instead of using Loctite there, we're using a lock washer. So I've got these bolts all set up, and I'm putting them on here, and we're going to tighten them up. Now, one thing that, you're going to be compressing this clutch. So you're going to want to compress it equally as we get our bolts in here. So you're going to snug this up at first, and I'm going to do a crisscross pattern on that, just like we did with the actual flywheel. So we're going to snug all these up. All right, I'm started. I'm sure I'll fast forward this. And you don't want to use any type of bzz, bzz, on this. You want to try to do this by hand because you don't want to screw up the threads on this, or you'll be in bad shape. Of course, it helped if you got the actual threads started. There we go. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's Friday. There is snow on the ground. We're getting closer and closer to Christmas. We got some parties to go to coming up here. Celebrated Jeff Thompson's birthday this week. I hope I didn't make Jeff mad. I posted a picture that I did with AI generation, and kind of is kind of funny, in my opinion. And I asked my son, should I post this? And it kind of showed Jeff Thompson with his little dog Liberty, and it was, like you say, it was AI generated. And I've been having fun with this AI generation photos lately. Anyway, I'm blabbing on. And it had a picture of his little Chihuahua dog, and I'll tell you what, that's getting pretty snug. Okay, I'm gonna start doing a crisscross pattern now that I've got everything snugged up until it comes in contact. So there's a little gap here you can see. I don't know if you can see, there's a little gap here, and it's not completely snugged up yet. So like I say, we'll do a little crisscross pattern until that gets completely snugged up. Getting kind of tight. I probably should have grabbed a wrench with a little more torque to it, but we'll get it there. All right, make sure before you get totally tight, make sure that this is going in and out, and it's nicely centered. So that's nice and loose there. And then we'll go for the complete snug up here. So going across here. All right, this is still loose. I can see all the lock washers are compressed. And now I'm gonna take my handy dandy torque wrench. All right, I've got this set up for 35 foot-pounds. And we're gonna start torquing away here. Now we'll go straight to 35 foot-pounds. That's not that big of a deal. Okay, there's 35. Go across here. Okay, 35. You might notice that the flywheel's turning a little bit, but that's okay. I didn't want to put a wrench on there. I could put my lock wrench back on there, but I think we'll get around. There we go. 35. 35. I think I got that one. Not that one. Not that one. Whoop. Here's my hat. This is my Chevrolet Police Department hat. All right, so I'll go all the way around one more time just to make sure I'm at 35. 35. Oh, that was a loose one. 35. All right, so now we'll go all the way around one more time. Make sure I got 35. 35. 35. 35. 35. Up. Turn a little. 35. All right, we're all set. And this is still nice and loose. So we're all set with the clutch install. Now we'll put the bell housing back on here.